Let's talk now to Clifford Thies, Professor of Economics and Finance at Shenandoah University in Virginia. Professor, welcome. Good to see you. First, a word about the relationship, the deteriorating relationship would be more accurate, between President Trump and the chair of the Fed, Jerome Powell. How damaging is this? How unprecedented is this? And where does it go next?
Yes, this hit the market pretty badly yesterday. The market went down, the S&P 500 went down by over 3 points on this bombastic remark by Trump calling Chair Powell a major loser.
Can President Trump remove or force Jerome Powell from office? And if so, what happens then?
Well, force is a hard-to-define word. Powell has a fixed term as chair, but the incoming president usually replaces the outgoing chair. Powell, if he wants, could remain on the board. He has a 14-year term as a board member, but only a 4-year term as chair. Trump has always been a dove on inflation, and Powell has been a moderate, balancing the Fed's concern with maintaining employment and suppressing inflation.
Well, look, let's talk about the dollar. Goldman Sachs saying that the dollar's weakness is here to stay. Just how significant are these falls in the dollar?
Yes, well, I think the dollar was overvalued, and so this adjustment might be better viewed as the return to something like intrinsic value rather than a fall in the dollar. And it is varied across the world. It's about 10% reduction in the value of the dollar to the euro and the pound. But on average, compared to the rest of the world, it's only a 5% adjustment.
And presumably, a weaker dollar is good news for some countries around the world.
Yes, if you're planning on going to Disney World, it's a discount. On the other hand, if you're planning as an American to go to Paris, it's going to be more expensive. But it's very complicated to look at how this impacts production because of our intertwined supply chains nowadays. Hardly anything that we call an American product has components only from America. Our supply chains are sourced throughout the world.
We've seen global markets react rather unevenly. I mean, just explain to us, why are some markets relatively stable, like Asia Pacific, while others are clearly rattled?
Right. It's always a problem to explain all the variation. There's a lot of country-specific issues, but we could say as one tendency, to the extent that countries are strong in their domestic saving and in their current accounts, their currencies are going to do fine. And to the extent that countries are weak in their domestic saving and their current accounts, they're going to be rattled.
What would help restore stability in markets? What needs to happen at the Fed, in Washington, or come to that, anywhere else?
Yes, I think this is going to be a hard problem because the underlying this uncertainty, these deficits, both current account and national budget deficits, is the excess spending that we got into during the COVID years and which we still have problems with. So the American budget deficit is about 6% of GDP, and our current account deficit about 4% of GDP. And this is going to take something a bit more than simply eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse from the budget.
Professor, good to see you. Thank you for that. Professor Clifford Thies, Professor of Economics and Finance at Shenandoah University in Virginia.